Hi everyone, and welcome back to Two Girls, One Gay, a podcast that explores everyday conversations about life through the eyes of two girls and one gay, with your hosts, Shanice, Nydia, and Marco. In this episode, we touch upon the topic of insecurities. We've all got them, and we all deal with them in different ways. To find out what some of our insecurities are and how we've managed to deal with them as we've grown, make sure to continue to listen to this episode. So grab a snack, make a drink, and get comfortable, because episode 4 starts now.
Hi everyone, welcome back to episode 4 of Two Girls, One Gay. I'm Shanice.
I'm Marco.
And I'm Nydia.
And how has everybody been doing?
Well, I just got back from Brazil almost a month ago.
Ooh, what'd you go
Has it been a
do?
month?
Almost, yeah.
What'd you do there?
Travel, all that good stuff.
Rumor has it you had some work done.
I got a BBL. I got a breast lift. I got
Veneers.
And they botched her.
I got
And
the
her
fox
teeth actually
eye.
fell out into the fried rice just now, so they did a good job.
So yeah, how do I look?
You look
good.
Great.
Very natural.
You might want to go get another revision. No,
Just kidding.
we're kidding. Yeah, she did not get a BBL.
Everything else, yeah.
Everything, yeah, that tooth did fall into the fried rice. But yeah, she was traveling. She visited her boyfriend. She got some content for at Touristy AF on Instagram, best travel account on Instagram,
And TikTok.
She's so sweet.
and
They're so
TikTok.
generous.
Touristy AF on TikTok as well.
Yes. What about you, Shanice? What have you been up to?
Just same old same, just working and
She got a
living.
new job.
Oh, yeah. How's your new job?
I got a new job.
And not just at any place. Can you please?
I'm not gonna say the name.
Let's just say the man went into space today.
She got a job at Amazon.
Cut that out.
She's the reason we're all gonna die.
Yeah, so yeah, work's been good. What about you?
Oh, good. I've just been working also. On Thursdays, I've been going to Splash with Alex and Belinda. So that's like a new little thing that we've been up to. Because right now they're like premiering RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars Season 6. And
Who's your favorite?
Raja O'Hara, yeah. I'm rooting for her. Or Ginger Minj. Either of them. But on Thursdays here at Splash, they have like a premiere party for the episode. And there's like 2 drag queens that host it. Their name's Deja Sky and Cara Coronado. They're really cool. Shout out to them. We got to like meet them and stuff. And the last time that we were there, Deja came up to us and she was like going around asking us like questions and stuff. So I was like, oh, this would be like a good little topic for the podcast. So like she pretty much went around and was like asking us what's like the one thing that we look for in a partner, and then what's like the one thing that like is our pet peeve from like a partner. So I said I didn't really have like a pet peeve. I don't think I ended up answering that question. But for the one thing that I look for, I just said that I would like somebody that is humorous, because y'all know me, I love to laugh, I love to crack jokes. So I think I'm pretty funny. So yeah, so that's what I look for, is like humor in a guy. So like, what do you guys look for when it comes to men? Tell me.
That's a good question. I would say there's a lot of things that I looked for, like when I was still dating.
Shanice is married, Nydia's in a relationship.
I'm not looking for any man at the moment.
Yeah, they're not looking.
No, but I would honestly say, like, if I could give advice to like younger people that are dating, I would say like find somebody that you can laugh with, because
That's
you
so
know,
important.
life can be very
Live, love, laugh.
serious. Yeah,
Literally.
live, love, laugh, like this poster says. But I would definitely say somebody that you can have a good time with, for sure. Somebody that has a good sense of humor, and somebody that has like a similar sense of humor as you do.
Yes.
Because I've been around some people, man, and it's hard. It's a tough room.
What about you?
Ooh, that's a very loaded question. I think for me personally, I think you guys made obviously valid points, but I think it'd be someone who's secure in themselves, that doesn't feel threatened if I as a woman or as a person, individual, want to pursue whatever, you know? So someone that doesn't feel like they need to compete with, like if that makes sense, you know? Someone to be like literally your partner.
Yeah. I think that's important for you because you're a very ambitious person and you're very independent as well. So I think it takes a very secure man to deal with a woman that is ambitious and independent, for sure.
Going everywhere.
And she's never in one spot. So you
what
definitely
about
gotta be secure.
Since you guys are in like you're married and in a relationship, what's the one like pet peeve that you guys have for your boyfriend and for your husband?
I know mine. Mine is he gets really bad allergies. And my pet peeve with a human is when they're just like, you know, having their allergic reactions or, you know, just like sniffing and like making all those weird ass noises. Suffering. Gasping for air.
To no fault of their own. Does he have asthma too?
Yeah, he has.
Oh, poor guy.
Poor ting.
Yeah. And he has year-round allergies, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm the same way too, but I think as I've gotten older, I've grown out of my allergies. But I used to annoy this girl. Fernando actually asked me the other day. I forgot what we were talking about, but I think last time we were here swimming at your house a couple weeks ago, you probably brought it up. How we had like,
you were sniffing.
Sleepover. Yeah, I have bad allergies. We had a sleepover. I don't know how old we were, like probably 12 or 13.
Around there.
And it was the summer, I remember, and I was like sniffing because my nose was itchy, and I was going like, I guess in my sleep. I never knew I did that, and she was so angry, and she brings it up to this day. I'm surprised you didn't write it in your maid of honor speech at my wedding.
I know.
And that's so crazy because like we're in the Central Valley and allergies are very common here.
Very
so like you are not
prominent.
going to be able to escape that.
Yeah, maybe one day.
Maybe one day.
You'll get allergies of your own.
Mine would be snoring. I hate loud snoring because I guess like if you like a not so loud then whatever. But if you're like super loud where you're like and like you sound like you're fucking dying, I'm like bitch.
Actually, they probably are dying.
Well, they need to get a CPAP or what is it called? CPAP?
Yeah.
Get a CPAP machine or something because I'm.
But do you want to hear that?
No, I don't actually. That's why I don't let people spend the night at my place.
Would you break off a relationship if somebody snored, or if they came over and they had their bag and they're like, "Oh, this is just my CPAP." Would you break it off?
I'd be like, "You're gonna run on my PG&E bill." Sorry, no. No, I one time hung out with this one guy, and this was like my mistake. It was like the first time we were really gonna like hang out. So he was like, "Oh, let's go take a trip." So we went to San Francisco, and we were supposed to stay there for 2 days. But literally, like the first day, he snored so loud, and I couldn't sleep.
You're a light sleeper, huh?
Yeah, I'm a super light sleeper. I couldn't sleep for shit, dude.
You made him drive back.
I think Didn't you guys go to a concert? Or you're supposed to?
We were supposed to go to the ice cream museum.
Oh, okay.
But it was like we had to wait until like the afternoon.
Well, you'll get your chance.
I was like, dude, I'm over it. Like after we had like lunch, I was like, I kind of want to go home already.
Dude, you couldn't even do 2 nights.
Dude, I couldn't. He was so loud, like super, super, super loud.
Can you mimic just like?
Like he was like.
Aw, poor guy.
I was like, dude, how am I gonna sleep another night? So yeah, and I mean, the chemistry wasn't really there either. You know, like
that was just like the last straw.
Yeah, like when you hook up with somebody, it's one thing, but when you're like trying to see if you have things in common with them and you really don't, it's like, okay, well then this isn't gonna go anywhere.
Yeah.
So it was just like, what's the point of staying like another night? And yeah, we came back home and we haven't talked since.
Hope he's listening right now.
What's his name? Shout him out.
Oh fuck, I don't even remember his name.
Shout out Jeff Bezos.
What about you?
I would say my biggest pet peeve that my husband does is he bites his nails, which you wouldn't think bothers someone else, but like he literally, you'll hear like, oh, and then you'll hear like crunch, crunch, crunch.
Dude, Fernando and me are literally the same because I bite my nails.
You bite your nails
yeah.
too? Does Fabio bite his nails? I think you guys are the same person.
I literally bite my nails. I'll be at work biting my nails and shit.
Yeah,
he's like a Trinity.
The only time, the Holy Trinity. The only time he stopped biting his nails was like during COVID, and that was the first time I've ever seen his nails long.
Oh my god,
it was so weird.
He's all scratching you.
That was the first time he ever like cut his nails with like a nail clipper. It was so crazy, but it just drives me nuts. Like, I don't like the sound of people chewing, and like when he bites his nails, I can hear him like grinding down the nail and like the lip, like the wet lip.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
like
just
sucking it almost, like
not sucking, but like
just the crunch,
like the wet finger like moving across the lip. I don't know how to explain it. It just
oh my gosh, I love that. We do the same thing. Oh my gosh, your men are gonna be listening to this and they're gonna be like so insecure.
No, I've verbalized this many times.
They know.
He knows, yeah.
Ooh,
they definitely know.
Speaking of insecure and insecurities,
Insecure season 5.
Let's talk about the best TV show, Insecure. No, let's talk about insecurities. That'd be a good topic for our listeners.
Definitely, because we all have them.
We all have them.
Doesn't matter how much we try to say we don't.
What would you guys say is like one of your biggest insecurities?
I can think of 2. So I would say my insecurity, and it's always been like this. Like, I used to be like really good about going to the gym, and I think at my lightest I weighed like 120 pounds, which is light for me because I'm big bone. I have big bones actually. Had an X-ray and the doctor was like, "You have a big bone structure."
Oh shit!
So
did he really?
Yeah.
You gotta be coochie.
He's like, "You're pretty solid. You ever think about playing football?" But no, even at like my lightest, I had like abs and everything, but I had like this little like, no, I would even call it like a pooch, but like my stomach was flat. You could see like the obliques, and then I had like a little dip. Is the kids call it a fupa. So I guess like my fupa, but I actually saw a video the other day where some girl was like, somebody had commented on my stomach because it sticks out a little bit, and she's like, but there's like internal vital organs in there. She's like, I have a uterus and I have like organs in there, like of course my stomach would poke out. I have like
especially for a woman.
Yeah. So I used to be, I would say I'm still a little bit insecure about it, because no matter how much weight I lose, I always have it.
We all got it.
But I remember like growing up, my biggest insecurity, and I didn't realize it till later, was my teeth.
What?
And like we're joking about like getting your teeth fixed, but I've had
I know a good doctor.
I know a good doctor, so I'm not insecure about it anymore. But like I would look back on pictures and I'm like, oh my god, my teeth look like that. And I was like a regular with going to the dentist and stuff, and they never suggested braces ever. So I just thought, okay, well, I never really thought anything of it until I got older. I look back like after my teeth are obviously straighter. But I'm like, oh wow,
that's crazy.
I was really walking around like that.
I would have never like thought that you'd be.
I didn't even know that either.
I would have never thought that.
And I've known you forever.
I think it's like a recent,
like realization
of an insecurity.
It's funny you mentioned that, because remember we were sharing pictures from like an event that we had, and then you look back at pictures and you're like, oh my god, like I actually look good.
I look
and all this stuff. Like, I guess like talking about insecurities, if we're gonna go there, like mine has always like for the most part been like skin, because I've suffered with acne since I was like young and stuff like that. So it's like, even though sometimes I look back at pictures, I'm like, yeah, maybe it was like a few little pimples or not even that bad, but for some reason like, oh, it was the end of the world for me, and it was just like, oh, I hate this so much. It's like, especially when you literally like go to all these doctors and you try to like literally, you probably do more harm overdoing it by like thinking you're doing all this stuff and like over cleansing and all this stuff, and you're just like, why? And then sometimes it's out of your control. And I think, well, I guess that's my insecurity.
And sometimes acne, like I think a lot of people, especially when you're younger, they think you have acne because you're dirty. You don't wash your face, or you just have bad hygiene. But like me and you have both been through this. Like there's actually health conditions that a lot of women endure that cause your acne, and it's out of our control. I can't rearrange my hormones or control what's going on internally, maybe to an extent, but if the doctors can't figure it out, I can't either.
Well, those would be mine too. Honestly, it was the same for me. It was acne and weight, and my acne, I remember it started also like when it was like my senior year of high school. And yeah, it's always been like an issue for me. And it really wasn't until like I started going to like a dermatologist and they showed you like the medications that you can take, the right like antibiotics, the creams, all that stuff. And it really is just like you have to be consistent and do it every day. But you know, it can also be expensive if you don't have like insurance and all that stuff. So it's a struggle that every time like you see like a little pimple pop up, you're like, oh my gosh, like
here we go.
Here we go again, yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, that acne was a big one. I remember maybe like 3. Remember when I called you all like sad about I called Nydia one day, like, when she was living... I think you were living in Argentina already.
I had just moved, yeah.
And I had called Nydia because I was feeling super sad and, like, depressed about, like, my skin because it broke out really bad. Like, oh, my gosh, I have, like, the pictures of it, and it was just, like, ooh, very bad, like, cystic acne. And I remember I called Nydia to, like, vent, but her internet was, like, really... really sucky, so like we couldn't even talk, and it was like, it's okay, I'll call you.
I'll text you.
I feel better.
Yeah, but you know, it's great now. Like obviously, like you learn what you need to be doing, and luckily I have like my insurance now, and I can go to a dermatologist, and I love it. But back then it was a struggle, and also with weight too, like. I've always been like a chubby kid, you know? So just, I remember how you're saying, like, looking back at pictures. When I look back at pictures, I'm like, dang, like, I used to think I was so big back then, but, like, in those pictures, like, I was tiny. I was not big. And it's like you're so insecure about, like, these things that are, like, almost small issues, but you make them bigger issues in your head. And it really is until you, like, learn how to accept and, like, love yourself that those insecurities, like, they kind of become less. Because that's where I'm at now, like, with my body. Like, I'm no longer, like, really insecure about my body. Like, I love my body. I love my legs, my butt, my chest, all that, you know. Love to show it off, you know, for my peeps. And yeah, like I feel good about it now, and it really. I think that comes with like age. You know,
it really does.
You grow up and you learn like how to really like accept yourself, and you really do learn that like you can't rely on your body forever. Like eventually.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna say for anything. I was gonna say what?
No, forever.
You can't rely on your body for shit.
Forever, because everybody like ages, and everybody's bodies are so different. And there's no like. Same one, and I think that comes too with like the pressures of like media back in the day where like the look was like super skinny versus now everybody like celebrates curves. And let's take a quick break to remind our listeners that our episodes are available on Spotify, YouTube, and now on Apple Podcasts as well. If you are an Apple user, please make sure to download our episodes and leave us a review to let us know how we're doing. And continue to follow our Instagram account on Instagram.com/2girls1gaypodcast to let us know what topics you want us to discuss in future episodes. That's Instagram.com/TWOGIRLSONEGAY podcast. Now, let's get back over to your hosts.
Can I add real quick? Because, like, now that you mentioned that, I also remembered another insecurity of, like, when I was young. So, when I was, like, younger, I think more so, like, in high school and, like, early college, like, I was, like, really skinny. Like, especially high school, I think I was, like, really skinny. And I just remember, I think, like, then, like, towards the end of high school, it was, like, the trending thing was to be, like, curvy, you know, and, like, have big butts and, like, that stuff. And I always just felt like, oh, I'm so skinny. Like, I have no thighs. Like, you know, I just felt like a stick. And I remember that being an insecurity. And it's just, like, funny that you can literally be any size and be insecure. Yeah. It's just...
Yeah. It's, like... It's almost like it's just in, like, in your mind.
He's like, it's, like, crazy.
That's, like, so sad.
He's like,
oh.
It's crazy. Thank you guys for listening. That'll be the end of our podcast.
Yeah. And, you know, also, I remember the last time that you guys came over, and, you know, even, like, people might not think, like, guys really have insecurities, or, like straight guys, like, yeah. But, like, hearing Fernando talk about, like, how he was, like, insecure about his body a little bit, like, I was like, oh, that's, like, nice to hear, because you don't really hear, like, guys express themselves about, like, their insecurities like that. And it's, like, it's funny because like he may think like, oh, like I don't like my body, but you love him and you love his body, and it's like you don't even think that that's like an issue,
right?
So I guess it's just in your mind.
Yeah,
it really is.
Our mind is our biggest fuck up.
Yeah, it really is. I guess we're kind of lucky because we live in a time where diversity is starting to become more celebrated. And yeah.
No, it is.
I agree. It helps because it's like if you think about when we were young, like even up until college, you didn't really see diversity like you see now, like representation in shows and all that stuff. So yeah, you felt like, oh, I don't look, this specific weight or height or look like, the skin of my color, the skin or like the color of my eyes, like my hair, like literally you just had literally like maybe one carbon copy of like what you should look like, and it wasn't really representative of what the majority of people look like.
Yeah, you saw it everywhere. You saw it in the music industry, you saw it on TV, you saw it like on the news.
Even models,
like, fucking America's Next Top Model.
Growing up, do you guys think you were more influenced by people that went to your school that were considered like the hot girl or the hot guy, or like celebrities? What do you think influenced how you felt about yourself and how you felt you should look?
I think for me it was like the kids in my school.
Me too.
Because you had like the jocks, I guess what they would call them, that all the girls gave like the attention to. But at that time, like I was like still with my whole like sexuality ordeal, but I was trying to like be this. I was trying to look like these people because I thought that's what the girls wanted, and I'm like, oh, I wasted my time doing that. I should have just been myself.
What about you?
I think for me it was a combination, to be honest, because like obviously you're influenced by who's you're around most of the time, and when you're in school it's your classmates, but then also like the media and what you see being portrayed like in music videos, and like especially like back in the day it was like always a thing for like a video girl, right?
Yeah.
And so I think it was like, oh, I should look like that, but yeah, I definitely think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah, because we didn't really have like artists that were appreciated for like being bigger.
Yeah.
I think the only one that I can think of is like Missy Elliott.
But they didn't appreciate her for that.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't remember
true.
people being like, "Oh, we love her body."
Yeah, that's
true.
true.
I don't even know what her body is. Her
artistry.
No, you're right.
Because she would always wear baggy clothes. I think she still does to this day. And who knows why she might do that? She might also do that out of, I don't know. I'm not going to put words in her mouth.
I wonder if it has...
Wow, unprofessional.
What was that?
Turn your phone off. You're gonna get a write-up.
No, because I heard Billie Eilish that's the reason Billie Eilish would wear like big baggy clothes.
Because she doesn't want to be sexualized.
She doesn't want to be sexualized, yeah, because she's like obviously got a really curvy body. So maybe Missy Elliott would do the same thing. I don't know, but
I remember watching her episode of Cribs and like actually seeing her face and it not being like in a really theatrical music video and thinking, oh my god, she's so pretty. Like, I wouldn't have expected it.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. But yeah, I mean, if you think about it, maybe she was doing that like purposefully and it was to her advantage because you weren't focusing on her body, you're focusing on her music.
Yeah.
And it's not like I was a big Missy Elliott fan or whatever, but I never focused on that.
That's true.
Yeah. And I think that's the other thing too, right, with the media and how the gays.
Oh yeah, not Gays, Gaze.
Oh, the male gaze.
The male gaze.
Yeah. And it's like they do say like, oh, women are supposed to look like this and, all of that, and it's like, yeah.
Did you guys read up on that? I taught them about this a couple weeks ago.
Shanice did teach us. I had no idea about this, and then Shanice taught us, and it really did like make sense.
Boycott the gays.
Boycott the male gaze.
The male gaze.
Stand the female
Gaze.
gaze. I literally thought you meant gays. I was like,
well, tell us about the male gaze. Give us a quick little.
So it's basically it has everything to do with how women are perceived in like TV, media, movies, film, whatever. Like women are their worth is placed on how attractive they are, and the character that they play in the movie is based on their attractiveness. Like, I watched a video the other day, and they said, like, the easiest way to tell when a movie is filmed with the male gaze is when they're introducing a female character, and they introduce them, like, starting from, like, the legs up, and then it goes to the face or lips.
There's so many films like
or
that.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, that's how people...
Like slow motion with like the wind.
Yeah.
Who do we think the gays are? I think it's Harvey, you know, that guy. Weinstein.
He probably was like fucking the guy that MGM, the one that owned MGM.
Oh, really?
He was like really bad. Like, if you haven't seen the Judy Garland movie, they talk about like him, how he would like pretty much abuse Judy Garland and stuff. It's really good. Really
That's
good
crazy.
movie.
I think a lot of early films were based on the male gaze because it was male like screenwriters. I can't even name one female director. Can you guys?
I can't.
And I'm not into film either, but I seriously can't. I can think
so
of like
true.
females that have produced movies, but they weren't like the screenwriter.
Yeah.
But, you know, I can't really name any male directors either, so...
I mean, I can't really name them either because I wasn't, like, big on, like, films back in the day.
Yeah.
I guess now I could. Like, I could name some directors, like
But definitely
Ryan
no
Murphy.
females. I don't even know who that is.
Janet Mock. She's the one that does, like, Pose.
Oh.
Yeah.
But that's TV.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
TV.
Film. We're talking film.
I feel like film's like a bigger thing in Hollywood.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I'd have to.
There's
like,
more
see
now. They're just not publicized
Yeah.
the way that men are. Like, what's the guy?
James Bay.
What's his name? It's the one that always has... Remember I sent you guys that video on Twitter? And it was like the first time I wore a pad. And it was the director. I can't think of his name. He was walking.
No.
Walking like he had a pad. I can't think of his name. I just saw a picture of him. I can't think of his name. But yeah, anyways, cut that whole portion out,
No,
please.
no, it's interesting. I think it's interesting. And it makes a lot of sense, like, when you see it back in the day, the perspective of, like, yeah, how, like, there was a certain look that was what media thought was attractive, and you can see how that obviously would persuade people to think that this is what you have to look like. And you see the difference now. You fast forward to today, and you see so many different artists celebrating their bodies, their individuality.
I love it, yeah.
And to me, it's awesome to see because I think of, like, the younger generation. I'm like, they're going to grow up feeling more secure about themselves. I mean, there's always going to be insecurities, you know,
Right.
but I would like to think that some of, like, the things that we thought were so major will not be for them. Yeah.
What do you guys think about when celebrities post stuff that's supposed to be, like, relatable? Like, they'll post, like, them undressing from, like, a red carpet and they have Spanx on, or them, like, without makeup, or, you know what I mean? How do you guys feel when celebrities try to post, like, relatable content that's based off of, like, common insecurities?
I think it's acceptable, obviously, to show the process that goes into, like, becoming these celebrities, because it kind of, like, takes away from the feeling of, like, this is how everybody's supposed to look in that entertainment industry, and makes them be more, like, normal, a sense of normality, because you're like, okay, it takes all this team to put this glam team to put together this person, and, like, when they take all that shit off, it's like, well, they really are just, like, a regular person. I think of J-Lo, because, like, when J-Lo is, like, in her getup, she looks obviously young and youthful, but when she has, like, no makeup, I mean, obviously, like, her age shows, and she's a beautiful lady, beautiful woman, but you can see, like, obviously that she's in her I think in her 50s, right? 50s or 40s, something like that.
No, she's in her 50s for sure.
So you can. It just means that, you know, like, it's all, like, the power of makeup.
Yeah.
Or what about, like, how
And a team.
celebrities, or just, I don't want to say celebrities, but people that have a platform in general, I've noticed, like, a lot of people will post, like, after they have a baby, or women will post after they have a baby, like, their postpartum body, and, you know, just things that go beyond just your appearance, just things most people have insecurities about. Because I feel like I've been seeing, like, an influx of that lately. When you look at, like, you know, these people's pages, it's not all, like, polished and curated and anything like that. It's, like, real. They're trying to get real, pretty much.
I think it depends on the delivery. Like, you can tell when someone maybe is only doing it because it's like, I don't know, it's hard to trust these celebrities and I guess people with a platform because sometimes it's kind of like maybe their team's telling them you have to post more content that's like more relatable so you can appeal to these people. And I feel like that's a big push with celebrities that before maybe didn't touch upon certain things and like now they do, you know, because it's like, okay, well, it benefits them. But I think at the end of the day, it's beneficial for kids more than anything, and like teenagers and, you know, all of them who see these things and like, because they're easily so gullible with what they see and what they believe. So I think even if it's not with pure intent, that these kids can see that, you know, this person that they idolize, you know, they also struggle with things and that they get real. So I don't see it as a bad thing, in my opinion.
What's like some advice that you would give to like the younger generation or just somebody that's still kind of like dealing with insecurities? Because obviously like we talked about our weight and our acne as one as or both of our
and my teeth.
Oh yeah, and your teeth. So like what are some ways that you guys kind of helped yourselves not feel so insecure about those things?
Oh, that's a good question, because I don't know. I feel like with age and time, I've learned to not care what others' perceptions about me. And I think that comes with like building confidence with yourself. And I guess for me, I don't know if there's a formula, but I just feel like, okay, I don't know, I've just been able to do things that I want for me, and it's like when I stopped caring about doing things for others, it's like when I was happier. So I don't know if there's like a correlation between that, but that's hard to say, to be like, oh, don't care what other people think, because we all do, and I still do sometimes, you know, and with certain people especially. So it's like that might always be there, but learn how to maybe like zone that out and not listen to that voice.
Because words do hurt, obviously, but I think sometimes you got to learn that there's people that their words really don't matter. So like if it's somebody that you really don't know or you don't care for, like their opinion of you shouldn't affect you. That's their insecurities there, you know.
Oh, okay. I thought of something that I thought about once, and I was like, oh my, and I feel like it's always helped me. But it was like sometimes, like let's say, I don't know, I'm like, oh, this person's gonna think about me. Like when you have an interaction with someone, it's very likely that you go home and you think about them 24/7. Like, you know, I don't know if that makes sense. Like let's say we had like a little fight or whatever, and it was just like not a big deal to you, but to me, I'm thinking about it, and it's like eating me up for days, and like you're not even thinking about me. So it's like if someone's not even thinking about you 24/7, why would you think about them and their opinions 24/7? I don't know if that makes sense, but
it does.
Yeah, I feel you, sis.
I feel you.
What about you guys?
Well, for me, it's the same. Like I feel like with age, it just stems from like getting to know more about yourself and getting to become more confident with yourself, and really just realizing that there's somebody out there that's gonna love you for how you are. Like you shouldn't want to have to change yourself to please other people, because even that is still probably not going to make those people be interested in you. Like you really just need to learn to love yourself before you can love somebody else. RuPaul says that if you can't love yourself, how are you going to love somebody else? And it's, to me, it's so true, because how can you try to find love with someone else if you don't even have that with yourself? Like,
yeah, and then you project those insecurities onto your partner, and that's just a recipe for disaster.
That's going to be toxic by Britney Spears. Hashtag free Britney.
I would say for me, probably along the lines of what you guys said, definitely. I don't know why you look like Jeff Bezos right now. I literally saw his face.
Stop, let me go to space.
No, I was like zoning out. I was a little bit dizzy. What's in this water?
Am I giving Arianki?
Is it giving Ariane?
Ariane?
I would say for me, Yeah, definitely along the lines of accepting yourself and living your life for yourself. But I think the main thing for me is just as I get older, I start to learn more about, you know, myself, and I don't see myself as like a body. I see myself as a soul. And I learn the things that I'm able to give back to the world and what I offer to other people's lives. And I know that I'm a giving person. I know that I'm caring and I'm loving. I know that I'm funny to the right group of people. And, you know, I see myself as that. I don't see myself as, you know, just the exterior, just the body. And I feel like when you start to realize those things and you start to find little things that you can appreciate about yourself, and you know that you give value to the world or someone's life or to your dog or whoever, then you start to value that over what your appearance can give. Because what can your looks get you?
Exactly.
And like I know that's a whole nother conversation,
like,
about like pretty privilege or whatever.
Yeah.
But like literally, what can your physical looks offer to the world? Nothing.
That's so true. I love that. That was
like beautifully said.
And you know, surrounding yourself with people that love you is also important, because then like if they love you for who you are, like that's all that matters. All the other stuff is just BS. It shouldn't be important. Like looks shouldn't matter. Like social class. I don't know. Like, you know, all the.
He's like out about that.
You sound like Jeff Bezos. You look like him and you sound like him.
All the non-important stuff that you would probably feel insecure about, it kind of just dwindles out the window when you're surrounded by people you love, people that accept you.
No, that is so true. I remember my dad a couple years ago, he had said, like, when I'm around family, I get, like, this energy. He's like, I can't explain it, but I only feel it when I'm around people that I love. And, you know, now that we have our house, we've had people over. I feel that. Like, you feel this sense of just, like, peace. I can't explain it. It's like this energy just overcomes you, and you feel, you know, you just feel good.
Yeah, I love that.
So... not to say I didn't have that when I was younger, but maybe I just didn't know how to appreciate that or maybe recognize that.
No, I know what you mean, because I feel as I've gotten older, and I think more so since the pandemic, I've learned who is deserving of my energy and vice versa. And I think you learn that over time as well. It's, you know.
I love that. And I think that's a great way to end this episode. Just remember to always love yourselves, and insecurities will always be there, but through time you just got to learn to not focus so much on the negative thoughts that you might have, and really learn to appreciate who you are and every part of who you are.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
That's a good end note. Thank you, Jeff Bezos, for sponsoring this episode.
Come on, space.
Bye, guys.
On that note, we hope you guys have a great day.
See you in the next episode.
Bye.